everybody, it's Chris Seeds, known as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast for you. Last episode, I got very distracted talking about my new couch and trying to escape the labyrinth of IKEA that I completely forgot to mention the movie I saw last week. So I'll mention that one before I talk about the new one. So last week, I went to see Cuckoo, which is a new horror movie. After getting off to a good start, it sort of fizzles out. Basically, this teenage girl is forced to move to this resort in the German Alps with her father and stepmother and stepsister because their parents are working on a new addition for the resort, and it's very eerie and creepy, and there's something in the woods, and it comes out at night, and it's kind of scary and disturbing, and weird stuff keeps happening, and it's just unsettling and weird. And I was totally in until it gets to for the first 2/3, and because it's legit, there's creepy, unsettling, kind of scary moments and whatever, and then 2/3 of the way through, it's this is what's going on, and this is why it's going on. And this is what this is, and this is what that is, and this is what I'm up to, and this is what he's up to, and this is what we're doing over here. And it was just stop. And it over-explains everything, and it just stops being scary. Because once you bring the monster into the light, it stops being scary. And in this case, literally, because the monster, when you catch quick glimpses of it in the dark with the glowing eyes, and it's scary, and you're ah. But when you see it in daylight, basically, it's just not scary anymore. And that was very upsetting. Also, while the lead girl is terrific, the villain is Dan Stevens. And while I appreciate his accent work, I just kept seeing Dan Stevens, and it was very distracting for me. And I couldn't I know they wanted a name, a genre actor that's a recognizable name, and maybe to sell the movie or whatever, but I just kept seeing Dan Stevens, and it was very distracting, and I couldn't really get into that. So if you're curious, you can stream it. It's not terrible. Just know that it doesn't stick the landing. And then this week, I went to see the brand new opening weekend release, Alien Romulus, which I lowered my expectations because based on the trailer, it appeared to just be Alien again. So I lowered my expectations, and I did not lower them sufficiently enough, as it turns out, because I was expecting there to be a few references scattered here and there to the previous Alien movies. I was not expecting Alien Romulus to literally be the previous 6 Alien movies chucked into a blender and spit back out on screen. It was insane. It's literally from plot points to characters to visual references and scenes. It's just this is from Alien, this is from Aliens 3, this is from Aliens, this is from Prometheus. It's just it's absurd. It doesn't have an original idea in its head at all. There's nothing original in here. And in fact, there was one thing towards the end that I was oh, that's different. Thank you. Finally, here's something new. And then after the movie was over, I went, oh, but wait, that's actually just a spin on something they did in Resurrection. I just didn't click into it right away because I've only seen Resurrection a couple of times because it's my least favorite. So it was just really disappointing that it was such a rehash of everything that's come before. You can make a reference here and there, but don't make the entire movie fan service references. It's just lame. Lines of dialogue. There was a line of dialogue that people were applauding, and I'm don't applaud that. That's lazy. Ugh. So, I will give it credit. It is well shot. It looks great, and the 2 lead actors are good. They do a good job creating characters that you kind of root for. The rest of them are cannon fodder. And because aside from Andy, the synthetic, I could not tell you a single person's name. And it's annoying because it's well over a half an hour before they start to get in danger, and that time could have been better spent establishing some of these supporting characters so you actually cared what happened to them. But you don't. And I will also give them credit for using practical effects, because the alien is a lot more menacing when it's a physical prop dripping in goo than when it's CGI. Because, as evidenced by the egregious use of CGI in this picture to create one of the performances, computers can't do everything. They still can't. And this particular CGI creation is just, it made me so angry. I'm not going to get into details because I don't want to spoil it if you want to see Alien Romulus. If you've already seen Alien Romulus, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have not seen it, I won't spoil it for you, but it might make you angry as well, because it's just, it's offensive to do it, but then they also do it really badly, so that makes it worse somehow. So I was really annoyed by that. So yeah, disappointing. I mean, it's not unwatchable. It's perfectly fine. It's an alien movie where people get killed by aliens. It's just a remix. So don't expect anything new or original or different, and you'll be fine. Before I talk about games, I do want to mention that I did put together the other Animal Crossing Lego set that I bought, KK's Concert in the Plaza, which had a lot of pieces to it. You had the cafe and the van and the town hall and everything, so that took a little while to put together. That was one of the longest ones, I think. And it's great. I have all my Lego sets now. I would like them to not make any more, though, because I have now officially run out of storage space. Like, display space, I mean. Like, it's full. The radiator is full. That's where I've put them. It's full. And I also will need to put them away come, like, November, because I don't want them to melt. And then I can put them back out in the spring. Because this apartment, our radiators have two settings: off or surface of the sun. So I don't want them to melt. So as for games, I have continued to get sucked back into No Man's Sky. I can't escape. And it's funny to me because I still can't get that autophage quest to start. And that was the reason why I was like trying to get back into it and get that to work. It still won't happen. But somehow I've just gotten caught up in it all over again. And like, I've just been doing random fetch quests and things and for the missions and stuff. And I'm just like, whatever. If I can't do the main quest, I'll do these little things. Because the whole point of No Man's Sky is exploring all these different planets. And especially with this new Worlds update, I'm seeing new things, like, you know, planets with like wild, crazy rock formations on them. And like, I've seen some weird looking creatures on some of these planets that are very different from what I've seen before. So it's great. And I've just gotten totally addicted to it again. And at the same time I'm doing all the exploring, I've also been working on my settlement, which is a little annoying because as you upgrade your settlement and you're like managing your settlement, after a certain point, the sentinels get more and more noticed. They notice you more and more and more, and then they eventually will attack, and you have to fight them off, and then it resets to 0, and then it starts building up again, and then you have to fight them again, and it's a little annoying, but I seem to have gotten the hang of fighting the corrupted sentinels, so I don't die anymore, knock wood. I only died the one time. Now I haven't died in a couple of battles, so knock wood, that will continue. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is the other day I had an opportunity to play SingStar, which I haven't played in a long time, and I decided I didn't want to go, and I didn't have a lot of time to play it, so I didn't want to go in the bedroom and set up my PS3 with the projector and the screen and everything to play in there, because I'm like, let me just try playing it on my PS5, because I had downloaded it on my PS5 like a while back. I never really played it, because the PS5 doesn't have a lot of songs in it. Because you can get the app and you can download some of your songs, but it's like maybe like a dozen or so songs that you've downloaded, as opposed to like I don't even know how many dozens are on my PS3. Like, it's a lot. The PS4 didn't even have as many, and now the PS5 has like even less. I think there's songs on the PS4 of SingStar that didn't download to the PS5 because, like, you know, there's no more music rights or whatever, and you can't. I don't think there's a way to transfer like the data from the PS3 onto your PS5, and if there is a way to copy that data over, it's too technical for me, and I'm not going to even try it because I'm not that smart. But I decided I was going to play it on my PS5 and try it out and see, and there's not a lot of songs, but I guess if I want to really play SingStar, I have to use my PS3 because, like, I have lots of Westlife songs on there, whereas here I've only got one. But then I also, unfortunately, I did try to see, because one of the things that's great is with my SingStar on the PS3, now it's an app, which is great because then you just download the songs you want. Because previously you'd buy a SingStar disc and it would have like 15 to 20 songs on it, and you'd only really want like 4 or 5, and then there'd be like, 10 that are like, okay, I'll sing these, and there's like another 5 that you're like, I will never sing this because I don't like this song or I don't know it. So it was always like hit or miss when you're buying those discs. So doing it as an app and you just download the songs you want, that's the way for these music games to go. That's a much better way to do it. So when I got SingStar for the first time many, many moons ago, I bought SingStar ABBA for my PS3. Because I was like, this is fine, because now it's ABBA's greatest hits. I love all their songs. This will be fine. And yay. And I won't have any duds. So I was like, that's perfect, The only thing was that it didn't come with microphones, and I had to go to a gaming store in Brooklyn and buy like separate SingStar microphones. But then I could use that as my SingStar game and then just download extra songs to go with the ABBA songs. Then they released an app, and now I don't need a disc anymore, and you just play it off the app. But the thing with the PS3 that was great was that the PS3 you could put in any of the PS3 SingStar games, and even I bought like a PS2 SingStar 80s disc, and it would read the PS2 disc. So like, I would play SingStar, and then I would put in the disc, and it would be like, oh hey, do you want to read this disc? Here's a whole bunch more songs you can sing off the disc. And it was great. And I bought it for like $5 or whatever. The problem is that on the PS5, it won't read the PS3 discs or the PS2 discs. It's not going to happen. So like, that's super disappointing. And so then, like, that would be really nice if it would at least do that. Then it would give me some extra songs I could sing on my PS5. But as it is, all I can sing is like the dozen or so songs that actually downloaded to my PS5, and it's not a lot. So it's sad. But I do miss my music games, and I do like to play SingStar and Lips occasionally. And at some point I will get another Xbox so that maybe I can play Rock Band again, because I miss Rock Band. So that's it for this episode, and I will see you next time, where I'll talk about whatever. I am going to venture a guess that I will still be playing No Man's Sky. Spoiler alert. See you then. Bye!